This video is all about what we call stupid human trick number 7. And it's a huge and critical difference between wealthy and successful people and everybody else. My name is Brent Michael Phillips. I am the founder and creator of the awakening dynamic system of energy healing and higher consciousness. And I'm here with video number 7 of 8 in our series on these stupid human tricks. Now, before we go any further, just in case you haven't watched the other videos in this series, which is fine, let me be clear. I'm calling the tricks stupid, not the people. So they're stupid tricks that otherwise amazing, intelligent, awesome people might end up doing, and it holds them back. It screws up our lives. And this series is devoted to the 8 most common and perhaps 8 most important stupid human tricks so we can knock it off and have better lives. Sound pretty awesome, huh? So let's get into it. What is stupid human trick number 7? It's this: being so obsessed with getting a good deal that you totally miss the value. And so I'm going to break that down, give a lot of examples, but I want to reiterate that this is one of the biggest differences between consistently wealthy and successful people and everybody else. Because after all, let's face it, everybody likes to get a good deal, right? No one, no matter how wealthy they are, really likes paying more for something than they have to. But this is the thing we need to look into, because people that tend to struggle with money tend to be more obsessed with getting a good deal. We want to feel that we got a good discount, or at least that what we're getting fits into our monthly budget. And let me tell you that most highly successful, wealthy people don't think that way. Of course they like to get a good deal. Of course, if they can get something on sale or at a discount, they will. But not at the sake of value. And that's the important thing. So let me give you an example that kind of leads us in the right direction. Many of us have been on vacation and we get invited to some timeshare presentation and they dangle a gift in front of us, maybe a free massage or a helicopter tour or something like that, right? I've been there, done that. Nothing wrong with that, right? But here's how it goes. They lure you in, they give you this big fancy presentation, get you all psyched up. Hey, for only X dollars a month, you can own a little piece of paradise, whether it's Hawaii or Paris or whatever awesome luxury destination we're going to. And you start thinking, wow, I could afford that. And we could have all our vacations here. Well, here's the thing. Wealthy, successful people don't think about, can I afford it? They don't think about the deal they're getting. They think, is there enough value there? And I'm calling out timeshares as a prime example of this. Most of you may already know. In case not, I'll tell you right now. For the most part, timeshares are a terrible investment. Why is that? Well, it's pretty simple. Once you get in, it's almost impossible to get out. It's very difficult to sell that on the open market. That would be in contrast with, for example, having 5 partners and fully buying an investment property. Well, then it's relatively easy to sell it, at least compared to a timeshare, right? And so what I want you to see is how working class, poor middle class people think, oh, can I afford their monthly payment? Does this feel like something I could do? And then they go for it. Because after all, if the people selling those timeshares weren't making a lot of money off of you and me, could they afford to be giving away so many free massages and helicopter tours? The answer is no. They're making a killing, and normal people are getting stuck with the bill. So here's a difference in how a wealthy or successful person would look at it. They would look at, what is the value? They're not as concerned with the price tag. They're not as concerned with what it cost last week or last month, or any extra add-ons or bonuses they're going to get. What they want to know is the value I'm getting worth more than what I paid for? So that's kind of criteria number 1. What is the value? The second piece, and this is a little more in-depth, we're going to borrow a term out of economics, and it's called opportunity cost. And so it's really simple. The opportunity cost of something is all the other things you didn't do because you did that one thing. As a simple example, let's say you want to go out to a movie tonight. That's cool, right? But there is an opportunity cost to that. For one, you're going to spend 2-3 hours at the movie. That's time you can't spend going bowling or going shopping or reading a book or going out to a game, right? So there's an opportunity cost to the time. There's also an opportunity cost to the money. And so if you go and spend X dollars at the movie, that's X dollars less you have for everything else, for going out to eat, for buying gifts for Christmas or whatever it is, right? And so when you're going to make a decision about buying something, the things you want to look at are, number one, is there enough value there? Is what I'm getting worth at least as much or more than what I'm paying? That's important. Don't worry so much about getting a good deal. That comes later. It's on the list, but it's much lower. So again, number one criteria should be, is there enough value? Am I getting something more valuable to me than what I'm giving up? As an example, I might go to the grocery store and pay $4 for a loaf of bread. That works for everybody. Why? To me, the loaf of bread has more value than $4, especially if I'm hungry, right? To the grocery store, they got lots of loaves of bread. They'd rather have the $4 than one more loaf of bread on their shelves, right? So everybody wins. That's the essence of an economy. So number one, look at the value, whatever it is. Don't worry as much about the price tag. That again is a big difference between wealthy people and most of the rest of us. A wealthy person isn't as concerned with how much it costs. They're more concerned with, am I getting value equal or greater to the cost? And so, of course, at some point, there's going to be things we can't afford. That happens to everybody, right? But for the most part, that bar is a lot higher than we think. And we got a whole video, number 8 in this series, specifically on that topic, on can I afford it? But back to our focus here. Again, criteria number one. Don't worry so much about a good deal or a discount. Ask first, is there value? Is what I'm getting worth more than what I'm paying? And I personally try to design all my programs, systems, products so they give you at least 3, 5, 10 times more value than what they cost. Because that's just basic ethics to me. I don't want to sell anything that I don't really believe has way more value than the price tag. The next criteria you want to look at is the opportunity cost. In other words, assuming there's enough value, is this the best use of that scarce resource? So, for example, let's say your friend offers you an investment and they say, hey, buddy, you give me $100 today, I'll give you $200 a year from now. Well, that sounds like a good deal, right? And heck, if it's real and secure and low risk, you should probably do it. However, based on the value alone, you might be misled. Because what you don't know is another friend is going to call you in 5 minutes and say, hey man, I got this other opportunity. You put in $100 this year, you get $300 next year. You see, that's opportunity cost. And so first ask, is there more value than the price tag? If so, great. It's a candidate for something you might want to buy or do. Second ask, is there an opportunity cost that's too high? In other words, is there something else I could do with that same amount of time, that same amount of money that would give me even more value? And if the answer is no, you got yourself a great purchase, a great investment, a great opportunity. And only as a third criteria, after we've established value and opportunity cost, do we ask about, am I getting a good deal? And so it's on the list, right? Again, very wealthy, successful people, of course they like to get a good deal. But they're not going to pass on value just because they can't get as good of a deal. So let's say, for example, you see an advertisement for a TV you really want, and it was on sale for just $500 last weekend, but you missed the sale. And you go, oh man, now it's back to the regular price of $800. Should you buy it? That depends. Is there enough value, right? If that TV is going to bring you a lot more than $800 in value, you should still buy it. Even if you miss the sale, don't worry about that. Secondly, is there the opportunity cost? Is there something else you could do that would be even better for you than buying the TV? If the answer is no, buy the TV. Too bad you missed on the sale, right? Don't sweat that. Again, this is the difference between wealthy and successful people and everyone else. People that are struggling with money tend to be obsessed with the price, the deal, the discount. What is the monthly payment? Can I afford it? Wealthy and successful people ask, number one, is there enough value? And number two, is there something else I could do with that same scarce resource that gives me more value? If the answer is no, Then, of course, get the best deal you can. Good example of manipulation in the real world would be go to a department store. You've probably been to department stores that it seems like every time you go, they're having a 50% off sale, right? Well, what you don't realize is the day before the sale starts, they just go out and double their prices. So everything's half off, but it's an artificial half off. You're not actually getting a good deal. It's a manipulation. I remember when I lived in West LA, there was a rug store that when I moved in the year 2000 was going out of business, 60% off, right? I ran over, spent some money on a rug, and 20 years later, when I moved out, that same store was still going out of business, offering 60% off. So it's great to get a good deal, but don't let that blind you to the value, to the opportunity cost. And if you start to think this way, you're going to start creating a much better foundation for the whole rest of your life. If you enjoy this video, if you like the series, if you learned something, hit like, hit subscribe. Much appreciated, and please share with your friends. If you want to learn more about me or go deeper into this work, learn how to get into the subconscious and really make some huge changes in your life, come to one of my events. I got some cool links to live events, webinars, weekend intensives, and downloadable programs in the description. But here's the big takeaway. Start thinking in terms of value. If you get a good deal, that's great. But getting a good deal on something that doesn't give you a lot of value, that's a waste of time and money. I would skip it. Find things that deliver a lot of value. Zone in on what is the thing that has the least opportunity cost, and then find yourself a good deal. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're at the end here of video number 7 in our series of 8 on stupid human tricks. We got one more video coming, so stay tuned. It's a big one. It alone can rock your world. That's all I got to say for right now. This is Brent Michael Phillips signing off. And until I see you next time, please take care and namaste.